What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Vlogmas day 12, I think. If you guys are new to my channel, definitely subscribe down below. I am doing all days of Vlogmas. I'm doing 24 days. I also make weekly videos every week all year, and I make travel videos, which are my most favorite videos, and lots of hauls, which you guys love. You guys love my hauls. So definitely subscribe, stick around, and let's get started with today's Vlogmas. I'm really excited for today's video. You can see a small stack of books right there, and you already know by the title what we're doing. Last disclaimer before we start though, I'm wearing my matching red sweatsuit, and I just have to say, if you see me wearing my matching red sweatsuit every day for the rest of Vlogmas, no you don't, okay? Cool. Today's video is going to be a review of all the books I've read this year, and I have to say that if you didn't watch my thrift haul, then you didn't see this portion, but I mentioned in my thrift haul that if you like reading, you have to get the app Goodreads. It is such a good app. It keeps track of all your books. Well, you have to do it, but one second. I'll screen record right now and show you guys what Goodreads is, because it is just like the supreme app for book readers, okay? So you can set a reading challenge. So this year I set my reading challenge at 15 books, and I'm very sad to say that I have not even gotten close to achieving my goal this year. I usually read one book a month all year, so 12 books, so I thought I'd up it and make it 15. We've only read 6 so far, so that's all I've got to say. That's not great, but this is what the app looks like. So you have the books you've read, the books you're currently reading, and the books you want to read, which you guys can tell by the screen share that I want to read a lot of books. But anyway, you can always update your reading progress, add books, whatever, I don't know. I just love it, so I had to recommend this to you guys. Okay, I didn't have my app updated, so I just fixed it. I've read 6 books. I don't want to spoil my ratings. Oh, that's my other favorite thing about Goodreads, is that you can rate the books that you read, and you can also read other people's ratings, which is what I use it for. So if I'm thrifting or looking at books and I've never heard of the book before, I'll look it up on Goodreads and see if the reviews are good. I completely trust Goodreads reviews, so if it says anywhere from like 3.5 to 5 stars, I'll read it. So let's just get started. Here's the stack of books. It's quite small, so that's a good thing for you guys, because this video won't be super long. I wish I read more, but what are you gonna do? I didn't. I'm actually going to go in order of my least favorite to my most favorite, because I feel like that's just the best way to do it, and we'll just get my least favorites out of the way. We don't need to talk about them. So like I said, we're gonna start with my least favorite books first. So I'm just gonna knock out both of these because I didn't finish either of these books, which makes my reading goal even worse. I've only read like 4.5 books out of 15 this year, not even 6. But these 2 books are my least favorite. I've never not finished a book. I always have to finish it. I always need to see what happens, but these I could not get through. And I wanted to share this because this one's very popular. So, first of all, we have Primates of Park Avenue. I found this book at Goodwill for like $1, so I picked it up. I didn't really read a lot about it, but I knew that it was about a woman who, she says she moved to New York City and she felt unwelcomed, so she decided to look at her new niche through the lens of her academic background in anthropology. So I thought this would be really interesting. Turns out this is actually, I don't know, I don't know if it's nonfiction, but it feels like nonfiction, and she kind of like scientifically describes all the different people of New York. I just didn't like it, straight up. Also, I should say that I have the philosophy that there are no bad books. I don't think that there are bad books. I just think that there are books you like and books you don't, but somebody else loves that book, and I believe that. So I'm not crapping on any of these books at all, so don't get me wrong. Secondly, this is so popular. It's called To Hell with the Hustle. I think it's supposed to be about like hustle culture and how to avoid it. I actually didn't know it was religious, so if you don't know that, it is religious. And that's not why I didn't like it. I just didn't love how this was written. I couldn't get through it. It was kind of dry to me, and I feel like the content is all things I've heard before, and honestly, I was bored. So goodbye to those 2. This book, I feel like I can't give you a full rating yet because I'm currently reading this, but it's pretty bad. So this book is called Perfect Touch, and I actually got this thrifting with Cheyenne in probably one of the videos that I vlogged. But Cheyenne and I went to Goodwill one day, and we just bought each like a huge stack of books because why not? We love reading. So this book I thought was going to be interesting. Like I said, it's called Perfect Touch by Elizabeth Lowell, and it is about an art buyer. So there's a woman, she buys art, that's her full job, she buys and sells. And then there's a guy who's like a cowboy. And the story goes that she goes to his ranch to see some really famous artwork that he has that he doesn't really know what to do with. He's like not really sure what it is. And she like goes and stays with him and tries to get him to use her to sell the art. But it also says that it's a murder mystery. I haven't gotten to that part yet. So no spoilers at all. That's what it says on the panel. This is how far I am, and basically nothing's happened. But I'll keep you guys updated. So far, it's not a bad book. Like I said, no bad books, but it's just cheesy. So it's like that really cheesy. It's like watching a bad movie, like one of those really cheesy love story movies. That's how this book feels so far. But for the murder mystery element of it, I want to keep reading. So I will probably finish this and I'll keep you posted. Now we're in the top 4. All 4 of these books, I fully read them and I fully like them. I'll tell you what my ratings were on Goodreads though, because I don't even remember. Oh, I gave them all, okay. I gave all of the next 4 5 stars. So these are my top books that I've read this year, obviously. This one is called Girl Stop Apologizing by Rachel Hollis. This is another one that's pretty well known. I feel like a lot of people read this. She also wrote the book called Girl Wash Your Face, which I also read I think last year. And I think this one came after it, but I like this one the best. This is the best one I've read by her. And they're not my favorite books of life, but I thought this one was really good. Girl Stop Apologizing. It's about just being unapologetically yourself, especially in today's world, and she talks a lot about being a mom in it, which I can't relate to obviously, but I feel like that's a good aspect too. It's like how to be a good mom and be a businesswoman and be all the things that you want to be and not feeling sorry for any of it. So I thought this was a good book. I rated it 5 out of 5. Definitely read it. Top 3 books. So the next one is, I guess, an autobiography. I love it. So if you've ever heard of the podcast, The Morning Toast, this is my most listened podcast on my Spotify Wrapped, like my favorite podcast of all time. I love The Morning Toast. It's hosted by 2 sisters, Claudia and Jackie Oshry. And Claudia Oshry is also a comedian, so I actually went and saw her comedy tour, and I love her book. She wrote a book. It's called Girl with No Job, which is kind of like her, I don't know, it's not like a pseudonym, everyone knows it's her, but that's her Instagram name. That's how she built her brand, was building a blog called Girl with No Job, and now it's going into an Instagram and a TikTok and all of the things and a book. So this is her like autobiography about her life. I don't want to give any spoilers, so if you're not interested or you don't know Claudia Oshry, I still think it's a good read, but you'd probably be a little bit less like tied to it than if you knew her. However, I love, she added photos, so like, this isn't a spoiler if you know her, but her dad passed away when she was younger, so she has pictures with him, a lot of them in here, and just all kinds of different photos of herself, and they're in color, which I thought was really fun. I feel like you don't see that in a lot of books anymore, and this is easy, a 5 out of 5. The next 2 books are my favorite books of all time. I think like these really impressed me. I had medium expectations, like I knew that I've heard other people say they were good, but also I just had to read it for myself and see what I thought, and truly, these are my top 2 favorite books, probably on my bookshelf today. They're at least in my top 5. First one is called The Hate You Give, also very notable. I feel like this became very popular this year. It's not new though, it wasn't written this year or anything like that. I think it's actually a few years old, but it is a great book. Okay, 2017, so it's not super new. Anyway, this book is, I think it's fiction, or it might be like a realistic fiction, which I did not know. I thought this was going to be educational, like a self-help kind of book, an anti-racism kind of book, and it ended up being a fiction, which I actually love. It was still all of those things, but like in a fiction form, in a story form, so it's about a girl in high school, and I just loved that aspect, wasn't expecting it. This is a huge book. It's like over 400 pages, and I read it in, I want to say 2 or 3 days. It was so good. I can't say enough good things. 5 out of 5 stars. I love this book. It's kind of, like I said, it's about a girl in high school, and she first-handedly experiences police brutality against people of color, specifically in this book about black people, and I thought this was an amazing book and that everyone should read it. Like seriously, everybody. I really do. Love it. And last but not least, we have my favorite book probably ever. This is so good, and I was shocked that I liked this because I feel like half of the people that have read it say I love it, best book of my life, and the other half of people say that was not for me, couldn't even finish it. So I was shocked that I liked this, but it is the famous Where the Crawdads Sing. I think Most people have at least heard the title of this book before, but it's amazing. And I also just found out they're making it into a movie. I'm gonna die. Like, I cannot wait to watch it. So, Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. This is a story. I don't know when it's set. It's very, very, very old. I don't even know. It doesn't even say what year it's set in, like on the panel. I know it's in the book, but it's about a girl who grew up in a marsh, and she was referenced as the marsh girl. Nobody would even call her her name in the town, like where, you know, people that had more money lived. She was raised in poverty with not a good family background. I won't spoil it, but this is I think it's fiction. I say everything's fiction because I love fiction, but I really don't know. So I'll correct myself on screen if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure it's fiction, and it's also a little bit murder mystery, and it is just 10 out of 10. You have to read this book. It's my favorite book of all time. That is the 6 books that I've read, or at least, you know, I read most of them. And I hope you guys enjoyed my little review. I try to keep it a little bit more brief and not just like dive into what all the stories are about, because that can be annoying. But if you wanted book recommendations, I hope you found some throughout this video. And I'm just so excited to share that with you guys. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.